In this video we'll be looking at Unide. We'll create a small design that consists of a couple of views and then we'll add navigation between those views. Finally, I'll show you how the share button at the top can be used to share the design. So first we have this empty design here. I can start adding stuff to it, so I'll use sketch mode. I can draw rectangles here to create elements. So first I want to have a horizontal split panel. I create a large rectangle, then two smaller ones, and then a really small one. So these are the two panels of the split panel, and this is the drag handle. And then I want to have a couple of fields and a caption for both of those. So first I create a small layout and a span. This is going to be name field. Then I'm going to create a text field next to it. And another field, so another layout, and a span. A span is started with a hash, so it is recognized as a span. And this one is going to be an address field. And create a text field next to it. And then I want to have a couple of buttons. One for filtering the grid I'm going to create using these two fields, and then I'm also going to want to add new contact information, so name and address, to the grid. So I'll add an add button. And for the grid I have to add a comma separated list of column names into this bigger rectangle, so name and address. Now it's done. Let's see what happened. Yes, this is pretty much what we want, but not exactly, I see. So there was a small mistake there. Now span, I have a div, and a body text field. So I can actually just use the layouts here to create what I wanted. So at the horizontal layout, and it has placeholders, so I could move this on top, that on top, the inside. Delete that placeholder and also put this on top of the other placeholder. Now I have what I wanted. And this div is extra deleted by pressing delete button. Okay, so now the horizontal split panel isn't exactly what I wanted, so it's not 100% height, so I can need to create some CSS for it. So right click on it, and I can type height 100% on the panel on the left here, which is for CSS. And also the captions are not aligned, so if I give a width to those, right click, create the CSS rule, and then width, let's try 5 rem. Oh, I made a mistake, and now it is correct. I could actually adjust the width using the slider here, but it's work in progress, doesn't work exactly perfectly yet. Now, this is the first view, and I can give it a name. Let's call it first view to be boring enough. And there we go. And next I'll create another view. So I have this add button here, and I want to have a view for adding new contact information to the grid we had in the previous one. So I'll use sketch mode again. I create a layout. This is pretty much going to be the same as in the previous view. So name, and then a text field, also another layout, and this is going to be the address field, another text field, and finally a button for adding. And then also some CSS again to make the captions align. This is of course not the best possible way to make the captions align, but it's sufficient for our demonstration here. So this is second view, save it, and we are done. Okay, so if I go to the first view, I would like to go to the view we just created by double clicking on this one, or this add button. So double clicking because just clicking once selects it, and double clicking inside designer would then navigate to the root. And to set the root we use the target root select here. So in here we can see the views we've created, and the second view is the one we want to go to. So select it and save. So now if I double click, let's see what happens. Oh, it navigates to the view we wanted. So here, pressing add, we would like to go to the first view. So I'll select first view and save. And now I can navigate between the views. So now my basic demonstration is done. There's no functionality, it's just the view, but I could already go here, best export, and get a buildable plain Java Vaadin 14 project out of it, and start working with adding the features, inserting the stuff to the grid here, and so on. But first I would probably like to show it to someone. So how would I do that? One choice is to use the raw setting here in export. It exports raw JSON, which you can then select a file here and import it raw. Of course the captions are in Finnish now, it might be hard to understand, but they are in English in your setting. It's set up like that. And one other option is that we will use here is the share button. So if I click on it, nothing happens, but actually if I go, let's see, well, I could just use this name field, and as you can see there's a link to GitHub with Unide link, and there's the share parameter here, and after the share there's a base 64 encoded version of the state of the editor. So if I would take this link and navigate to it, it would show this design we have here. So you can give this link to someone, they can click on it or put it in the address bar, and they would actually see your design. It's a very large link. You could, for example, use tinyurl to shorten it. I don't know what the maximum limit is there, so it might be that the design is big enough. Eventually, Unide will have possibly a server component where the design could be stored, and you get a small hash you could use instead of adding the entire state of the designer. But that's something that could come in the future. But right now, this is possible. Showing the entire state with a huge link. It maybe is useful. We'll see. But yeah, this is the entire video now. So I show you how create a couple of views and add navigation, and finally use the share button to export it. Thanks for watching.